We ready?
Yes, we're
Are we
ready.
going to do the prayer?
All right,
Are we
let's
gonna
call the
do
meeting to
prayer?
order.
It'll get there, Dennis. Hang in there. All right, I got to go to 2. There we go. You got a bell, Jessica? I hate this. I have 2 mice. Okay, do you have a bell, Jessica?
I did. I rang it, but I'll ring it again.
Here we go.
I got a Salvation. I got a Salvation Army bell. Gotta throw my plug in there. If we'd all like to repeat the pledge, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which
it
it
stands, one nation, under God,
God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
for all.
The 4-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth?
Is it fair to all concerned?
Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Okay, Dennis, you're up now.
Heavenly Father, we are so thankful for this day that you have given to us. For it truly is a blessing. It's opportunities, it's challenges that you have put before us. May we appreciate and use each day for your glory and for your honor, and give us strength and give us guidance for each day. As it comes with its problems and heartaches, Heavenly Father, we reach out to you to continue to follow you and make you the Lord of our life. Help us as Rotarians and humans to serve others. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Jessica, do you want to have any club announcements maybe?
I don't have any yet, except because our board is meeting next week, so I hope to have more after that. The one thing I did want to discuss is that we agreed as a board to cancel meetings for the months of April and May. I'm assuming that everybody will be on board with go ahead and canceling in-person meetings through the month of June as well. The board, of course, is going to discuss how to move forward next week, but we haven't discussed that as a board yet. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out there. Julie said we can't meet at Patrick's in the month of June anyways because of social distancing. So our plan will be to have virtual meetings in the month of June, although the board hasn't officially discussed it yet. So if there's any discussion anybody wants to have on that, we did talk about the possibility of having an outdoor meeting in July. And Julie said that Patrick's can cater that, not with a buffet, with boxed lunches. Am I muted?
No, you're talking.
So Julie said that Patrick's can still cater with boxed lunches for everybody if we meet outdoors, maybe at Friendship Gardens or even at Barker Mansion if we go there and just spread out more than we usually do, or if there's another location where people would feel comfortable meeting in person outside so that we can keep 6 feet apart. We don't have to worry about being enclosed in a room. But I think we're looking at more July for that. So if the board will talk about it, but if the club's okay, I think we should just go ahead and plan on having still virtual meetings for the month of June. Is there any discussion on that?
If anybody has a question, put it in your chat. Do you know how you guys use chat? Just choose the little chat button on the bottom there, and then you
there
can.
it is. Okay. Okay. Well, it seems
Jessica,
like
I was thinking about having a meeting at Friendship Gardens anyway, so I thought that would be a good idea. People can see our Rotary Garden then, and maybe get a little more support for it.
Exactly. I think that'd be a good idea. We had our summer picnic planned for Barker Mansion. We're always in such tight quarters there if we eat in the same area where we usually do. So maybe it's a good idea to have that date and go to Friendship Gardens instead, where we can spread out a little bit more.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. So we need to talk about it.
Okay.
At the board meeting for sure.
Sounds good. So everybody just plan on doing virtual meetings still for next month, and we'll definitely get a schedule out to everybody.
Okay.
So is there any other club business anybody wants to discuss before we move on? Oh, I see Adam's here. Adam Vadoni. Hey, Adam.
I got to unmute myself. Hello.
Welcome, Adam. How's the new baby?
She's doing well, getting chunky,
Oh, I bet.
sleeping through the night most nights.
That's a good milestone to reach.
Yes.
Well, welcome. If nobody has any other club business to discuss, are we doing Maggie? There we go. Maggie, I'm super excited to hear about this. Somebody that I've always looked up to in our community, not trying to win brownie points, but somebody that I've always respected. It'll be interesting to hear Unity's update as well as how you guys are managing under COVID. You're on mute, Maggie.
Okay.
You're on mute.
I'm not muted now. At least I'm not.
No, I can hear you.
Okay, fabulous. Thank you for finding my nicely done portrait by Walt Bookfa. He is a really good portrait photographer, by the way. He makes anybody look good. So, no, I'm excited to be here today. Thanks for thinking of us. My presentation today, I'm going to share a screen with you, came out of a conversation with Jim Walnuts and Jim Wellborn and some other people. So it's kind of a kludgy presentation because I'm covering a couple different things in the same presentation. So just bear with me, and if you have any questions afterwards, please reach out to me. But there is a lot going on, and so I'm going to just jump right into it. I have my Rotary presentation here. You know me, I'm a what's the word? I'm a visual person, so I like to see things. So hopefully you do too. So again, happy to be here for the presentation today. We do have a few new people that, Unity Foundation has been around about 27 years, but there's always new people who don't know what we do. So I'm going to just give a real brief thing. We are the community foundation that serves LaPorte County, but we also do things in the region because when Unity Foundation was started, the counties around us did not have community foundations. So we do things with them and for them as well, but mostly LaPorte County. Our mission is to strengthen LaPorte County now and forever. And that really, and Jim Wellborn and I talked about this, it's never been more important than now that Unity Foundation is here to help with that. We're just a helper. But we are what's considered an economic development tool because we help keep wealth local and keep it for generations to come to build upon through endowed funds. So if you think a simple analogy is if you think of the United Way as the checking account, most of the money they raise every year is spent every year in the community. We're like the savings account. So most of the money we raise, we don't spend and we invest it, which creates a perpetual stream of income for a wide variety of charitable causes, including the Michigan City Rotary Foundation. We have over 300 different funds. And if you look through our list of funds on our website, we look a little like all over the place. And that's because these funds were each created by ordinary people in LaPorte County. Well, I don't think they're ordinary, I think they're exceptional, but people who just had a vision. They either wanted to make something better or prevent bad things from happening, or just keep their family names alive in the community. So each one of those has its own really cool story. To learn more, you can visit our website at uflc.net. All right, I gotta advance that. How did I do it before? Oh, there it is. So since Jessica mentioned our operations, we are located at 422 Franklin Street. We've always been in Michigan City, primarily because there's just a lot of reasons why we're in Michigan City, but we do cover all of LaPorte County. We have been one of the key partners in the STAR Center, which the Rotary Board has met there several times. It's our shared technology and resource center and happens to be home to 5 different nonprofits. So it's a pretty innovative thing, but we also know that we're being good stewards of our donors' money because we're able to just get some terrific economies of scale there and makes it easier for people. So we began physical distancing on March 12th. And believe it or not, we got busier than we were before. We were working 7 days a week, as I know many of you were too, for the 2 or 3 weeks after we began just physical distancing. We never closed our office because we are essential, and we had a lot of activity going in and out of there, one or two people at a time. But we also welcomed our new vice president, Shannon Walker. That was her first day at work was March 12th. So hello, Shannon. Goodbye, Shannon. That was kind of crazy. And then our current Unity vice president, which we all know and love, Deb Barnick, agreed to stay on for 2 months because it just would have been she was supposed to retire at the end of March, and she was so gracious to stay on to do two things. One is to train Shannon, but the second thing is we recognize that our most important role could be to support the home team and protecting our most vulnerable people. Our initial response, frankly, my sons have traveled around a lot, and they came home and they said, "Mom, this is going to be bad. You need to do anything to prevent, things." And so we did a number of things, but one thing we really did was get money out early while other funders geared up. We knew that United Way had started their fund. We knew that Healthcare Foundation was going to do things, and so we made some instant grants. They didn't even have to ask. I was literally running checks around town to these frontline organizations, Salvation Army being one of them. I was literally dropping checks off because I know that like Jim Musial probably didn't think he needed that money, but I knew he would need that money. So here's $1,000. And then, so early on, we got about $25,000 out to frontline organizations. Some of it was Unity money and others was our donor money who said, we really want to help. So that was pretty cool. Then another initial strategy was just start supporting and connecting key groups with ideas and resources and problem solving. Because as you know, everybody had to pivot very quickly. At the same time, we had to pivot our own office operations to become remote. And it took a little longer than we thought, excuse me, but it all worked out. So we can all now work remotely fairly well. We activated our LaPorte County Disaster Relief and Recovery Fund. We had it, just didn't have any money in it, and we never activated it. And so we activated it. So we have gotten a little more than $50,000 into that fund and are using some of it. We also expedited our agency fund payouts. So if you think of all these 300 endowment funds, about 130 of them are nonprofit organizations specifically. So we expedited those annual payouts, literally having people come pick them up, or we would drop them off or shoot them in the mail. Normally there's a process and we just skipped all that. Like, here, you're going to need this money. And we know it probably kept some people from really getting into cash flow troubles. But we also have heard since then that it helped them sleep better at night. So I'm really glad we did that. We just totally sped up our process. We also realized that we weren't going to be using as many toilet paper rolls and other things. So we donated our excess sanitizing supplies. Of course, now they're not excess because you still can't get Clorox wipes. But anyway, they needed it more than we did. Toilet paper. We took all our snacks and beverages over to the First Methodist Church, to Eric Tannehill, probably at a very good time because they were all ogling the rolls of toilet paper as I rolled them in. So it was, that was really hard to get then. And then we also took that extra step, which is now considered a best practice, is we told all of our 2019 Power for Good grantees that they could use any unused funds for the crisis. They would just have to tell us in July how they used it. So, we haven't seen yet what that impact was, but again, just wanted to ease their burden because, again, it was all pretty stressful, as you all know. Deb and I early on recognized that supporting the home team was probably a very critical niche. We've been convening people around homelessness since 2004. So we literally staffed up, and we had 2 vice presidents for that 2-month period, which was not in our work plan, I can tell you that. But it really helped us create a unified plan for our most vulnerable homeless, and those are particularly the people living in congregate living, where they have to share kitchens, bathrooms, living rooms, or just a sleeping room with the pads program, because those men were mostly sleeping head to toe. They were not able to sleep 6 feet apart from each other. So if we could have a plan, so if and when someone tests positive, that we'd be ready to go. We ended up having to bring in new partners too, county government, city government, hospitals, and others to put this plan together. But we did, and we implemented a shelter in place plan for the last 2 weeks to just minimize their contact with outside groups and so forth. So we're easing that off a little bit now because it's hard. It's really hard, but we can go back to that if we need to. And then Unity got a grant, and United Way helped pay for that, because you have to then, if people can't go get their food, you have to bring everything to them. And that was a whole new way of doing business. But I'm so impressed with our providers, such as Salvation Army, our shelters, our hospitals, HealthLink. Everybody was really trying to figure this out. And fortunately, of all the people we've tested, no one has tested positive so far, knock on wood, but we were ready to go. We also were writing and managing grants to support food and housing organizations to save them time. So it just made sense, not all the time, but once in a while it makes sense for us to do that. We did that for the Healthcare Foundation grants for some of that coordination. So there's a lot more to that, but it was just amazing. And again, I credit Deb Varnick with a lot of that, because she stayed on it. She was the one going to the hotels to pay for the hotel rooms, and she and Ed Seal. So, and get food to people and do things. And our EMA director, was literally putting his whole life on the line by taking some of these people to get tested, because we didn't know if they had it or not. So it's pretty amazing time. We also have been convening, Shannon Walker is convening our weekly LaPorte County Funder Collaborative, where we convene local funders, Healthcare Foundation of LaPorte, Dunlin Health Council, us, United Way, and we've added the Lisa Piersikowski, Center Township trustee, to be sure that we don't duplicate funding. And so that's a pretty amazing group as well, to try to figure out how to be good stewards of our money. Because once the money's it's just been unprecedented, because the money comes in from a new source every time we turn around, like, oh, this department HUD's doing this, and it's been crazy. So we want to be really good stewards of our resources. We also put together a pretty comprehensive resource hub. If you haven't been there, or you want to know where the soup kitchens are, you can go there, because that's updated pretty much daily for people who need those resources. And then we also decided to activate a volunteer hub. That's been kind of iffy, because everybody doesn't want volunteers right now, or people are afraid to it's kind of iffy, but it's there ready to go when we need it. So if you are looking to volunteer or need volunteers, go to the hub and use it and help us make it work. So I'm going to switch gears now, because this was something that Jim Wellborn specifically asked me about in terms of community betterment. So we embarked on a 5-month process to engage our many communities. We have 2 cities, we have several towns, and then we have the rural community in LaPorte County, and it's a pretty large county. We engaged about 1,000 people via large and small meetings and online. We decided to do this in a partnership between Unity and the Convention and Visitors Bureau. And the Vibrant Communities outcome, I'll identify 3 main goals around people, places, and prosperity. And this is where Rotary, could plug into some of those action agenda items that came out. We had a total of 66 action agenda items, but it was pretty clear that all of these would require actions by many. It's not like I can just point to Jessica at the Salvation Army and say, here, you tackle this one. I mean, it's going to take a team effort. As competent and as great as Jessica and the Salvation Army is, there's only so much they can do. So I'm just picking on you, Jessica, because, I love you. And everybody's going to have to pitch in to do these things. Now, are we going to implement 66 action items? No, we are not. But we also came up with a metric for what we can focus on initially. What's the most important right now? And maybe there's God bless you, whoever sneezed. Deb. I saw that. Some of them are taking a higher priority in a number of ways. And those 2 were housing, creating diverse and increased housing options for everyone, because we realized that LaPorte County has been missing the boat. When people think about moving to this region or coming back, if you're a kid who grew up here, we do not have diverse, interesting housing communities for people. We have houses, but we don't have great communities for them to move to. And so they're going other places to find those communities. And the more I thought about this, we moved back to this area in the late 80s. we've always had trouble finding places to live and places that I would feel comfortable raising a family. So it has been going on a long time, and other communities around us, Porter County, St. Joe County, Elkhart, LaGrange County, those are where people move. And there's a reason. It's because they have housing options and we do not. So we need to do something about that. And I'll tell you in a minute what we're going to do. And then the other option, or the other priority that kept ringing over and over again, was entrepreneurial and small business support. And I can't think of anything more important today than that. So it's kind of interesting. The other thing you should know is that we were doing a parallel process with our friends from Lake County. And we did get planning grants, and the entrepreneurial and small business support also came up loud and clear at that level too. So we're doing something about that with our friends from Lake and Porter County. So in terms of housing, the housing strategy would position LaPorte County for growth. Because again, we're missing out on enrollments for our schools. We're missing out on taxpayers. We're missing out on all these things because people work here, but they live somewhere else. And if you talk to anybody like Deb, who works for a hospital, she can tell you that it's really hard to recruit physicians and medical people to actually live near the hospital. Because again, we don't have a lot of viable options of any price range, high, up, middle, all of them. So we want to develop a housing action plan about what kind of housing and communities should be developed and where. And so we will be working with County, Tony Rodriguez. There's a task force called Welcome Home at the county level. We'll be working on that. But turns out that Lilly Endowment is giving us a grant, an implementation grant. We haven't gotten it yet, but we'll be able to allocate up to $50,000 toward that study. So that should really help. We probably could do the whole study with that amount if we put in a little sweat equity with some of the research, which county officials said that they would definitely be able to do. So that'll hopefully get started. I mean, yeah, we should have done it 20 years ago, but what do they say? The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the best time is right now. So, we'll do that now, especially when we are anticipating the possibility of new people moving here, the South Shore Double Track project, and the potential preference for suburban lifestyle and space as a response to COVID. The futurists that I've been talking to are projecting that there will be a flight to the suburbs because of just the density and all these other factors. So I don't know what that's going to do to our urban cores, but we should try to be as welcoming as we can here. Okay, so in terms of entrepreneurial and small business supports, we also want to position the region for economic growth. The Northwest Indiana Forum, with funding from us and other groups, this Ignite the Region Economic Development Action Agenda. And that was unveiled 2 years ago. You can go to the forum's website. It's pretty exciting. There were 5 pillars, but one of them was pillar number 2, which is an entrepreneurial and innovation ecosystem. So I was actually part of that pillar and have been very in the weeds with that. And so we've learned, before I kind of hardly could say what, like I couldn't even pronounce entrepreneurial ecosystem. I mean, it's a mouthful. But now I really know what an entrepreneurial ecosystem looks like. And South Bend Elkhart region did an analysis of their ecosystem, and they gave themselves a D. Like on a scale of 1 to F, they gave themselves a D. I'm like, well, they've got Notre Dame, and they've got all that stuff going over there, and they're a D. Well, we're F, or we're not doing well. So the importance of that really became apparent. So we are partnering with the Legacy and Crown Point Community Foundations. Those are the 2 community foundations in Lake County. The Center of Workforce Innovations, which is our workforce group, and then the Small Business Development Center. The last bullet point, is to create an entrepreneurial resource tool for Lake, LaPorte, and Porter County. And of course, the other counties can access it. But the funders are coming from Lake, LaPorte, and Porter County. It will be a comprehensive and searchable database based on diverse criteria. So there's actually a taxonomy. So if you're a woman looking to start a cookie baking business, and you should be able to put those search things in and find the people that can help you. If you're a minority, those kind of things, we want to make sure that it's very comprehensive. And because we've seen it work, that there is one also in Chicago called Shy Biz Hub. The same company did theirs, although they had more resources to do the web design, and ours is going to be simpler, but we can connect to the Chicago resources. We support both types of businesses, from innovation startups like some tech thing to, a mom and pop organization or somebody wanting to open a daycare or a barber school, or businesses that will be in our neighborhoods, because that's what makes our neighborhoods and our community stronger. We also have been, when we went and did our site visits in Miami, Grand Rapids, and other places, there's a big focus on equity. It can't just be for white people, it's got to be for everybody. So that's an important aspect of it. So we'll need some more input from that. Our goal is to launch it by November 12th, which is the SBDC's Entrepreneur Day Awards. So we just had a meeting on it just before this one, and it's very exciting to see what we can put together. And we have funding for 2 years for it, and then we'll figure out how to make it happen after that. But we think the timing for that is pretty important. So those of you who are close to businesses or even thought about starting a business, people are actually starting new businesses right now, according to the SBDC. So, it's just an exciting time. So housing, entrepreneurial, and small business supports are 2 key things coming out of vibrant communities. Now, does that help Rotary? I don't know. There was one other slide that didn't show up in this version of my PowerPoint, which is that Rotary has its own fund. Rotary Foundation has its own fund at Unity. And I guess it just didn't update on this one. Sorry, Jim, you asked me to put it in there. So you'll just have to humor me. So Rotary Club had a fund started over 10 years ago with a $5,000 grant from the Rotary Foundation. You've never made a grant from that fund, and there's a little over $6,000 in principal, and the earnings have kind of built up. So there's around 5,000 or 6,000 in spendable in there that you could make a grant from. So that is something that if the club wanted to do, or you can talk to the foundation to make a grant, if we wanted to support some of our programs, there are funds to do that. But it can't be to benefit Rotary, it has to benefit the community. So if it were, to support food for the hungry or do something in the garden, some of the funds have been used for the garden, but that's a sub-fund that Ed Lysat set up. So Rotary Foundation has a fund. There's a couple other service clubs in LaPorte County that have their own funds with Unity too. But the idea of starting the fund was just to encourage people to leave their legacy to Rotary through their estate plan, or leaving the fund as a beneficiary on their CD or something like that. So it was started with members in mind, but it was also started to keep Rotary vibrant for decades or for generations to come, and not just here and now. So I just wanted to let you know that. But it really was set up by the foundation, so the foundation has to call the shots on it. But there's money in there, so I just thought I'd let you know, and we'd love to see it grow. So I'll close with the fact that our scholarships and grants will be awarded as normal. We will be opening our grant application portal on June 1st. It'll still be in the $3,000 range. We decided to just make it open to whatever nonprofits would want or need. Because we just can't project what they would. But that's going to be another $350,000 that'll go to benefit the people of LaPorte County. We also will continue to help families leave their special legacies for causes they care about. If you go to our website and click on a picture of the beach, there's a whole nother world of planned giving. If you haven't done your will yet, it's a great place to start, because you can start a little thing and upload your information, and then you can take that to your attorney. It'll save you money because you won't have to pay them to do that. And there's all kinds of information on there about how to get your legacy in place. And Adam, it's a great time for you since you have a baby, and it's free. So, it's all there for you, because it's something that people are afraid of doing. And if you go to our website, it's the easiest thing to get started. We're not lawyers. We're not giving you financial advice. We're just giving you information to take to your professionals. And there's many of them in our community. We do plan to continue the Vibrant Communities movement. We will be presenting the Vibrant Communities Action Agenda as Rotary in the future, but we're not ready to at this particular moment. But because Jim begged me, I said I'll talk to him about it a little bit, about the 2 things that we know we're going to do something about. And Unity Foundation is going to continue to innovate and collaborate. So we do a ton of that. So visit uflc.net, check out our website. There's a whole other portal about vibrant communities and all the things that happen during that process. There's cool pictures. Some of you are in it. So it's the consultant that we hired to help us do that was just phenomenal. And there's also a Spanish version of that website as well. But the final product isn't on there yet because we need to, again, take a little look at it since COVID, before we go forward. Or you can call me 879-0327 and our own Jamie Miller will answer the phone because the phone's forward to her cell phone now. So I will open it up to questions. That was a lot, but here you go. And I'll open up to questions if you have any. Otherwise, just reach out to me offline.
Thank you, Maggie. And I will say that, the Salvation Army has 2 endowment funds there that we're extremely grateful for. 2 board members in the past have set up for us. And also we did receive some generous donations for our COVID relief through Unity Foundation and some of the people that have funds there that directed funds to us to help immediately with COVID, like as soon as the crisis really started to affect our community. I did have one question. So the vibrant communities, I was wondering what the timeline is on that. And the reason I asked is, do you think that that you'll need to reassess it following this pandemic? I think that the needs in the community will be different then.
Well, Jessica, you're reading my mind because we've begun meeting again with our consultants. We meet every Friday, and every time I picked up the document, which is very thick, by the way, I would start getting like overwhelmed and kind of like panicked in a sense because like what's changed? And if you look at when you'll see it. We're not going to change the document that came out of all of the work that all these people did. We had this amazing steering committee of cool people from all over the county and a lot of young people. We tried to curate it. I don't want to throw all that out because that work was valid, and that at that moment in time, this is what the people of LaPorte County thought was the most important. So that will always be there. What we want to do though is look at the tone of it and put a lens on it in terms of what has changed since COVID, and then what hasn't changed. So it's like people look at we've looked at our strategic plan. I'm on a statewide board. We've looked at theirs, and really a lot of the things just don't change. It's just how you're going to implement them that changes. And if we're looking at communities, like where are we going to house people? I think we need to be receptive to the fact that new community design is going to be around safety. And I do think that your priorities will probably be the same of housing and small business support. So it seems like those two would probably be the same, just the approach might be different. Yeah. So I'm open to suggestions, but again, we know there's going to be a slight difference, but some of the things are, they've been around for a long time. They're not going to change. So, but it makes my head hurt sometimes because there's a lot to think about. Are there any other questions for Maggie?
There are a few that are in the chat. So did you see? Can you see the chat, Maggie?
I can see participants. Wait, chat. Oh, I see. Yes. Thanks, John. Appreciate it. And okay, so was Unity impacted by the stock market decline? Yes. In March, we lost close to $7 million. Don't know where we are now. It comes back, comes and goes. So what $7 million means to us is that's because we take a fee on our assets. That's over $70,000 of operating income that just went away. So we will have to reassess our own operations and so forth. But we did apply for PPP, the payroll protection funds. That will help as long as we do get it forgiven, which we should, but they keep changing the rules a little bit. So yeah, we're affected. Now we use a spending strategy that kind of smooths things out. So we hope that over time it won't be that difficult. But yeah, and they're not expecting this market. We'll get Mike Hackett back on maybe and talk about it, but it's not expected to bounce back like it did in 2009. So yeah, it's going to have long-term impacts for us, our grantees, and our operations. So, but that's a good question, Lance.
Anything else for Maggie? Maggie, I did want to know how I can get information on that LaPorte County Funder Collaborative. In case I'd like to see the Boy Scouts might get involved with that too.
Well, it's been just kind of a close, like, well, we can talk offline, but it's really for funders who are actively pumping money into LaPorte County for the COVID response.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. In the past, we have had a group called the Major Funders Group, but it was like herding cats. So it was hard to do. So we could pop it back up, I suppose, but now we're doing it just in terms of COVID relief. So it's in it. We've got bigger fish to fry right now, like trying to figure out how to coordinate the services and funding that we'll be putting out. It's a big deal to do it right.
Well, if there's no more questions for Maggie. Thank you so much for that update. It's very timely, I think, for all that information. Jim, you want to take over with the, oh, I'm sorry. I guess that's the Sarge today, huh? I'll get used to these online meetings just in time for us to meet in person again. Is Tom still with us?
Yep, I'm there. I'm here.
Hi there.
Yeah, Tom, you want to start the Sarge program?
He's muted. Tom, you're on mute.
How's that?
That's better.
Welcome, everybody. I'm glad to see you all healthy. Before I forget, I'm going to be the Sarge in 2 weeks. And so there's a discussion that took place before everybody was on board. I think what we'll do is have everybody come with a mask. And as Deb said, we can, she's going to put her name on hers. But anyway, if you've got a mask or you've got several, which we've got several laying around here, dial one up. Make it look interesting. It's not Halloween, but you can still use that kind of theme. Bring a little levity to the program. So I really don't, other than the good of the order today, I'd like everybody to just contribute a little bit about what is something that once this thing is all over, that you're really anxious to do that you haven't been able to do for the last several weeks. And then if you have anything for the good of order, share it at the same time. So Jim, I'll let you start. But you got to unmute first.
Yes, I know.
Oh.
I guess one of the things that I'm missing is the face-to-face meetings, the face-to-face gatherings. Being over 65, I probably haven't left the house more than 4 days in the entire time that this thing's been going on. And as much as I like the house and my dog in the yard, I'm really getting a little, a little hoping that I can get out and do something. I know one thing I am working on a lot for the Boy Scouts is we're trying to figure out if and how we can open summer camp for our scouts to be able to get together over the summer or at least later in the summer to get the experiences that they're missing out on right now.
Okay, good. Okay, 185, 283.
So yeah, I still can't figure out how to get my name up there. Hi, everybody. Debbie Tatum, also known as 185-283. I am really looking forward to sitting in my favorite Mexican restaurant and having a margarita and enjoying food with my grown kids and my grandson. I cannot wait. Really missing that. So a lot of in-person things. I'm missing going to the beach. I know you can go and walk the dunes, but I like to go sit as close to the water as possible. And my particular favorite beach is closed right now. So those are things I'm looking forward to. But I'll tell you one thing I'm enjoying. Working from home does not stink. I have pretty much control, except on the days when they mow around the house. That is a problem. My coworker, who's on the back of the sofa right now, she does not appreciate that. But I am grateful for the opportunity to continue working and eliminating some of the driving. But I do look forward to being able to go out and visit and meet people in person again. There's a lot to be said for connecting. Thank goodness, Maggie, you know, we do a lot of that. And we did a lot of that. And that meant when we had to stay home, that we could still reach out and continue the contact. So looking forward to a lot in the future.
Thanks, Debbie. Maggie? Maggie?
Yeah, okay. Well, sailing season hasn't begun yet, but I really am looking forward to getting out sailing because I really do feel cooped up. There's 7 of us in our house, and I'm really enjoying having my kids and 2 girlfriends home. I did learn how to put together believe it or not, an inflatable hot tub. So $400, you can get your own inflatable hot tub. So it's pretty cool. So I'm enjoying that. But I just want to remind everybody that Deb Varnick is retiring. Her last day is next Friday. So we are not looking forward to her leaving, but she'll still be around, and hopefully she'll stay in Rotary under Unity's membership. So we'll see. But again, I appreciate all of you.
Thanks, Maggie. Jessica?
I actually have 2 things that I'm looking forward to. I have a 4-year-old at home right now who hasn't seen another kid since March. So you can imagine how stir crazy she's going. Me and my husband both go to work still every day. So she goes to grandma's house, but she keeps asking about her friends. She wants to go back to the playground. So she can't wait to get back to normal life. And I can't wait for her to be able to be a kid again. And the other thing is my birthday's next month. And every birthday, my husband treats me to spa day at Blue Chip Spa Blue. So I'm hoping that they open, and I am willing to sacrifice myself to be their first paying customer as soon as the spa opens. So that's my 2 things I can't wait to look forward to. But for the good of the order, I do want to just throw out there that the Salvation Army is having a 5K, which is a virtual 5K. So it's no contact. You can run it on your treadmill at home. You can run it around your block, just run 5 kilometers. And you just post your results in our Facebook event. You can register for it at our website, samichigancity.org. We usually have a 5K out at Krieger every year, but of course, we don't want to congregate in large groups. So Major Becky had a brilliant idea of doing a virtual 5K, and we actually just had somebody from Houston sign up for it. So this is kind of fun to get people from all around the country to sign up instead of just in Michigan City. So we're looking forward to see how this comes out.
Good, thanks. Pat Boy?
Unmute myself here. I'm actually kind of enjoying staying home, but my grandson's a little anxious to get together with friends. I would love to get to see my extended family because I've got a lot of brothers and sisters in Illinois, and I miss them. But I'm trying my hand at hydroponic gardening instead, with mason jars. Now I got to get a light for them. But I'm enjoying the time here. I've got a lot to do, but trying to catch up on other stuff, but I'm delaying myself by doing these things.
Good luck. We'll expect vegetables and everything else shortly.
I don't know if it's going to be shortly or at all, but I'll try.
You can bring a salad for our picnic in July.
If I get anything.
Thanks, Pat. Rebecca? Unmute.
She's got to probably get back to the food pantry. Is that why are you running out, Major Becky?
No, I don't have anything today.
Okay. Okay. Adam, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What do you got for us, Adam?
Well, my daughter was born February 28th, and grandparents were around for the first week. And that's just been my wife and I with the 3-year-old and now a 3-month-old for the last 2 months. So really looking forward to getting a grandparent to come hang out with our kids for a day or two.
Adam, we'd like to see pictures. Picture?
Okay, yeah, next time.
Okay.
I don't have any ready to go. I'm not that good technologically.
Hey,
Oh, that's
Adam,
great.
I saw, I'm just gonna interrupt for a second, because Adam, I thought about you. I saw a news story about people that are in Antarctica right now, like waiting out the pandemic while there's like nobody on
Yeah.
that one continent. I thought about you when I saw that.
I think I know one person who's down there, so I'm pretty jealous of them. Very nice place, isolated place to be.
Oh, great. Congratulations, Adam.
Thanks.
Call in user number. Who is that? Apparently, they can't answer.
Did you
So
say
Dennis.
number 2? Did you say number 2, Tom?
Call in user 2.
I thought that was Dennis.
Who? Oh, Dennis?
Yeah.
Well, his name appears here.
Well, let me
There's
unmute
call-in
that
user
phone.
2 and there's call-in user 4.
Calling user
Can
2.
you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Okay,
Sure.
I'm what I'm missing is face to face, and of course I'm kind of like Jim, being over 50. I got to get out a little bit more, but I miss being together face to face. I have to admit that, but I appreciate the way that we're doing things as we're doing right now, and hopefully this virus will get by us and we'll get through it, and I know we will, and we'll be back together face to face. That's what I'm looking forward to, and that's all I got to say. And by the way, I didn't mean to say over 50. I meant to say over 65, 70. Yeah, I get it right yet.
That's
I
okay.
got it. Okay, thank you.
Well, Dennis,
Thanks,
you're over
Dennis.
all of those, so you're okay.
Hey, John Wendell, can you hear me?
Hi, yes, I can. What I look forward to is being able to see my mother again in person. She is in the nursing home, and they have locked down, and they are not allowing anybody else in the building other than workers or residents. And of course, one of the sad part about this whole thing is that the residents are suffering tremendously because they have no contact with anyone else. She is just forced to sit in a room by herself. And occasionally an employee will come in and talk to her, but most of the time they do not. So that is what I'm looking forward to.
Wow. That's got to be tough.
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, good luck with that.
Thanks.
Ken Wilson. Ken, are you there? Well, I talked to Ken via email the other day, and he said he's gotten a good report. I believe he's still doing the chemo, but he's feeling a lot better. So anyway, we send our well wishes to Ken, and hopefully he can join us soon. Let's see. Let's go to Lance. Lance has always got lots of good stuff.
Hey, Tom, this is Lance.
Yeah, Lance.
Well, I look forward to going on a cruise, but I know it won't be this year and it probably won't be next year. But we did have 2 cruises planned to Europe for the year, but we'll have to do that in the future. So I do look forward to doing that sometime, but I know that will probably be not for the next few years. I did have a friend that passed away yesterday.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
So I just want people to know that the COVID is real.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that, Lance. Condolences.
So, But I am getting to spend a lot of time with my wife and do walks, and so that's been good. I have been able to get into the office at least once a week. So right now, the school system, we're trying to develop a plan for the fall of how we can operate our schools with our children, and we're still waiting for more guidance from the state. So every day is a new day in regards to that, but we'll find a way to make it work for our students to make sure that we can make them as successful as possible. So thank you.
Great job, Lance. You've been doing a good job so far, that's for sure. Let's see, is there anybody I missed here? Anybody else that wants to say anything? Well, I'm looking forward to just doing some face-to-face. It's almost kind of hard to talk to people anymore when you see them face-to-face. I have been to the grocery store, I've been to Lowe's, and most people are wearing masks, so I may be walking by people that I always talk to, and that's kind of, it kind of makes me feel bad. But I'll be glad when we can get back to Patrick's and we can all meet in person. So before I sign off, just a reminder, 2 weeks from today, everybody come with a mask, get creative, and let's have a little fun. So with that, I don't know if Jim, you're going to do the Queen of Hearts?
Yes, I am. So give me just a second.
Okay.
I'll bring it up.
All right.
Just say that, Jim,
Thanks,
while you're
everybody.
doing
Have a
that.
great week.
Jim, I'm just going to say while you're doing that, don't forget next week we're having our first virtual Thirsty Thursday. So if you guys want to grab a glass of wine and sign on in the evening, we can all chat without having a program and just kind of all catch up with each other. So maybe we can pull out some, I don't know, random question cards or something. We can have a fun game night, Debbie. I do have Cards Against Humanity. I don't know if that's appropriate for a great club meeting.
Jessica, we have 3 decks of cards on our dining room table. So I can maybe, if you remind me to go, give you some questions.
What kind of cards are they?
They're question cards for getting to know people better.
I love it. That's perfect.
Yeah, and it's been 2 months now. We've gone through almost all of them in our house.
I bet, yeah. That sounds perfect. Yeah,
remind
Jim,
me and I'll grab one.
I'm sure Jim will send out the invitation for everybody with the link for that. What did we say? Did we say what time? I don't even remember what time it is. My days are all running together. But yeah, we just thought it'd be fun to do an evening, just kind of everybody chat instead of having an agenda while we meet. Just kind of everybody take turns talking, and I'll catch up. Maybe we can catch some more people that are tied up during the day and can join in on an evening meeting.
Great.
Looking forward to it.
Okay.
All right. Can you see the random.org screen now?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to need a drum roll. Can you give me a drum roll, Tom?
I can do a bell.
Okay, there you go. You ready? We're going to hit the randomize button, and the winner is Jerry Heath. Is Jerry on the line with us?
Oh, it's probably Jenny Heath.
Jenny
That's
Heath,
her husband's name.
Yeah. So Jenny's not on the line, so we got to do it again. All right, Jenny.
Pick me, Jim. Pick me.
No,
I'm trying. There, I did pick you, Tom. All right, so if it picked Tom, then the next thing we're going to go to.
Hey, that worked.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to draw some cards here. Queen of clubs. Sorry, Tom. Right queen, wrong suit.
Okay. Well, at Thirsty Thursday, you all have to buy me a drink.
I got to run, everybody. Thank you. We'll see you next week.
Great. Thank you. See you, Jessica.
Is that your mom, Jim?
What's that?
Is that your mom? Or is that Beverly?
No, that was my wife.
Yeah, Beverly. Sorry. Duh.
Beverly, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Her. Your buddy. Bye.
Yeah.
anyway, I guess search program's over. And unless anybody has anything else to add, we'll adjourn for today and we'll talk to everybody next Thursday.
Bye.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Bye-bye.